Hello, fellow ambitionists, and welcome to Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, the podcast. I'm your host, and this is where we turn your ambitions into actionable plans. Through proven strategies, personalized goal roadmaps, and a focus on progress, I'll guide you in breaking down big goals into milestones you can achieve. Each episode delivers practical tools to help you stay on track and make real progress towards your goals. Ready to start accomplishing? Let's dive in. If you're working toward a goal and you can't tell whether you need to push through resistance or pull back and reassess, this episode's for you. I'm Desiree Stapleton at Gonzalez, and I work with people who are not afraid of effort, but who are tired of wasting it. Because there's a real difference between pushing through something that matters and forcing yourself to do something that no longer makes sense. And confusing the two is how people burn out, quit too late, or stay stuck longer than they need to be. So, here is why this decision feels so confusing. Most people were taught one message growing up: if it's hard, push harder. That advice works sometimes, but it breaks down when goals are long term, high stakes, and tied to real responsibility. Not all resistance means you're on the wrong path, and not all resistance means you should push through. The skill isn't toughness, it's judgment. So, first, push through when the resistance is friction, not misalignment. Some resistance is normal. Push through when the work feels boring, not wrong. When the discomfort comes from repetition. When the task feels mentally heavy but logically sound. When the resistance shows up after consistency, not before clarity. This is the resistance that appears when the novelty has worn off, when the work you have to do is familiar, and when finishing requires follow through and not excitement. That kind of resistance means you're close. This is where pushing through is appropriate and necessary. Other resistance is a signal. Pull back when the goal no longer fits your life, when the cost keeps increasing while the return stays flat, when progress creates more instability, not less, when the goal requires you to ignore core responsibilities, or when you can't clearly explain why you're still doing it. This isn't weakness, it's information. And when resistance comes from misalignment, pushing harder doesn't build character, it wastes energy. So ask yourself this: is the resistance coming from the work that you have to do to accomplish the goal, or from direction? If the direction still makes sense and the steps are clear, push through. If the direction feels increasingly wrong or unclear, pause and reassess. You don't need to decide forever. You need to decide what makes sense right now. So, here is why pulling back doesn't mean quitting. And this matters because pulling back is not the same thing as giving up. Pulling back means re-evaluating the goal, adjusting the scope, redefining what done looks like, or changing the timeline. Sometimes the right move is not stop, it's reset. Most people who finish goals aren't the ones who never reassess. They're the ones who reassess without abandoning themselves. So, here is how deadlines clarify this decision. Deadlines help reveal whether resistance is friction or misalignment. If you know what the next step is, when it needs to be done and what finishing looks like, then resistance is usually about effort, not confusion. But when deadlines feel impossible or meaningless, that's often a sign the goal needs adjustment. Structure tells the truth faster than emotion. So, this decision is much easier when your goal is structured. Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, the program, takes your goal and breaks it into steps with deadlines, which makes it clear when you need to push through and when it's time to pull back and redesign. Clarity removes unnecessary struggle. Not every hard moment requires more force. Some require better judgment. If you want support clarifying whether a goal needs persistence or adjustment and turning the right goal into clear steps with deadlines, you can visit goalaccomplishmentmadeeasy.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Goal Accomplishment Made Easy, the podcast. Stay committed. Keep taking those small daily steps and watch your goals turn to reality. For more resources and personalized support, visit goalaccomplishmentmadeeasy.com, and we'll see you in the next episode.